thank you for joining me for a new episode and a new season of Inspirations. That's my podcast. It's mainly about knitting and yarn, but not only. I'm sharing a few things more. So if you're new to the podcast, thank you so much for joining me today. It's a good point to start, first episode of season 5. So I'm uploading a podcast to YouTube every Monday afternoon at 5 p.m. Paris time. I'm updating my Etsy shop every Monday as well. And I'm sending out a newsletter every Monday afternoon at 5 that goes hand in hand with the podcast and the shop update. Well, it summarized everything and give you news about Tricot Stitch. So everything you need to check, or if you want to subscribe, everything is in the show notes just below in the description, video description. And if you're a returning viewer, I'm so happy to be back with you for another season. I just came back from vacation. I went to Bretagne, so Bretagne, which is not a place you go for the sun, okay? Typically, when we drove to Bretagne, it was 38 degrees outside. We were literally melting. Everybody in Brittany was like at the end of their lives because they are clearly not used to such high temperatures, which is quite, I mean, it's crazy. We've never had such temperature in Bretagne. But anyway, and that was the first day. And the first thing we did when we touched base and drop our luggages was to go to the beach and have a dip. It was great, and it was so refreshing. And the day after, rain and like 20 degrees. And it was the same weather for the whole 2 weeks. So yeah, we had to put the heaters on. I mean, yeah, but we knew that when you decide to go to Brittany for the summer vacation, you don't expect to have like a beach type vacation. You are aiming for it. You go on walks, you go to explore, you go to visit some beautiful sites, you go to have a cozy moment in cafes, and that's the whole point of the thing. So we were prepared. We were always packing for the day because the weather is changing a lot, so we were always packing for the day. Like, we had on one side the swimming suits, the sunscreen and the beach towels, and all our rain gear. So we were able to switch from going to the beach to walk on the beach, but when it was raining. So it was great. I mean, it was a lovely time. It's always such a joy, and also like it's a bit too sweet because you get to have privileged moments with your loved ones, my kids, my spouse, and it's just like this little bubble of time when you take a lot of pictures. You are always with each other, and you get to remember how your kids were at that age. And it was bittersweet because I thought at the end of the vacation it's going to be the last images I will have of my Amelia at 4, Constant at 8, Maxime at 12, Ambre at 14. Next year they will have grown up by a year. They will be different, and it's always like a joy. And a bit, I was a bit sad at the end of the vacation, not because I was coming back, because I'm really enjoying my work and all, and my life altogether, but just because of time that passes, really. Okay, no knitting. So today I want to share with you about events coming up. Lots of them. The Westknits Almanac for September, the agenda, my projects, and books. So I'll start with the events, although you might not be from France, but anyway, I'm going to share them just in case, okay? So the first event is in Lille, it's in the north of France, and it's called Trichothérapie, and it's at Garage. It's like a big place with restaurants, and it has a lot of happenings, and this for the whole month of September it's around knitting and the knitting community. So I'm very happy to be part of this. I will be there, my yarns will be there starting on September 8th. And I will be there physically 2 days on the 9th and 10th just to meet with you guys and help you choose yarn. And after that, it's on the 17th and 18th of September. I will be at Laine à l'Est, which is a very young fiber festival. I think it's the second year, if I'm not mistaken. It's at Manoir Équivocal. It's a beautiful place, like a little castle. It's lovely, and it's at Corgauloin, so it's 30 minutes drive in the south of Dijon, which is at the east. Like Dijon is 2 hours from up north from Lyon. Yeah, so east of France. And so what did I plan for both events? Well, I'm not going to share too much about Laine à l'Est because I'm still dying for the event, but you can expect to have some kits for a lot of things that I've knitted recently and shared with you recently. So there will be kits for Kala, there will be kits for Floodlight Tea, for Rocket Tea, for Love Notes, for Magnolia Chunky, and I actually dyed 2 new colorways to knit your own Magnolia Chunky cardigan. You have As de Coeur, which is a beautiful, vibrant red, going on a little pink color, so that one. And also a color that I love, but I have never offered it as a Magnolia Chunky kit. It's Rocky. It's a beautiful warm brown that I love very much. Okay, so that's for the new colorways of, I'm going to put that here. Sorry, I put things, something fallen. The other colorways that I'm gonna have at the booth are Tourbillon, which is a lovely autumnal version of a lightly speckled option for your Magnolia Chunky. Like a bit like Shimmer, but more on the autumn side. So this is Shimmer. This is the original yarn that I used for mine, that you loved so much. Also, I dyed Teacup, which is a great option for a Magnolia Chunky, very fresh, and Lune du Loup, which is an all-time favorite of yours. That was January colorway of the Westknits Almanac, and that was April. Thank you for the love, guys. Thank you so much. Also, a new base, so fun. It's called DK Fanfare, and it's a tweed DK, but you see the tweed is a lot of different colors, and I really had fun dyeing some things with this base, but I think the most beautiful ones are this one that is as crazy as the base itself. So this is Autumn Rainbow on DK Fanfare, and this is a kit to knit your own Réconfort shawl, which is one of my patterns. So I'm going to offer this as a pre-order in the shop starting today as well, because I mean it's so lovely and I just want to knit. I actually kept a Autumn Rainbow Réconfort kit to myself because I wanted to knit one for myself, but I'm going to actually use one with Fanfare because I think they're so gorgeous. So this is going to be at Lille, it's going to be at Laine à l'Est, and it's going to be in the shop as a pre-order, okay? Also, I've just dyed the colorway for the Westknits Almanac, but I had a mix up in the studio, and instead, because when I dye a colorway for the first time for the Almanac, I usually dye it on 5 different bases, just to show you guys how it is on different bases. So it's a very specific batch, because usually I don't work like that. I don't mix up bases otherwise. And so what I did is that I dyed the Almanac colorway on a regular batch, and I dyed another colorway, the one that I had planned initially for the Almanac. The result is I dyed Autumn Rainbow on 5 different bases, and I think it's a great mistake, because that enables me to show you guys how it looks on 5 different bases. So it's exactly the same colorway that I've just shown you across 5 different bases. And this is a hint to let you know that I will open pre-orders for this colorway as well in the shop today, because you've been, I mean, Autumn Rainbow initially was one of my exhaustion colorway. That means I had this bunch of leftover dye. I used them to dye this orange yellow base, and I put a lot of different speckles up on that, and it ended as Autumn Rainbow, and it's been one colorway that you've been asking me in custom orders again and again and again. So because you seem to love it so much, I decided to open pre-orders, and well, fate decided that you will have a look at how it looks across 5 different bases. So this is extra thin fingering. This is Stellina. This is Lurex. And it's such a bright and happy colorway, but not your usual rainbow. That's why I call it Autumn Rainbow. This is Tweed. And this is BFL, which is actually my favorite. So pre-orders also open for Autumn Rainbow in the shop today. I really like that colorway. I've been wanting to knit this for ages, so I might just cast on for a Réconfort shawl with the Fanfare base. I mean, it's so cool. Also, because I have 2 festivals coming up, there won't be any podcast on the 12th and on the 19th. So next 2 Mondays, no podcast. Next podcast and shop update will be on the 26th of September. That being said, you might have seen that Stephen West has announced his new mystery call. So it's a tradition at Tricot Stitch. We do the mystery call and we offer kits for the mystery call. Okay, so how is it going to work? After, it really is the same each year, because I always have some shows in September, which is great because it enables me to have a lot of different colors in front of my eye at the time when Stephen West announces his mystery call guidelines, which enables me to be in a very good position to offer you advice and to offer you kits for your own yarn choice. So it's going to be the same this year. There will be a specific shop update on the 26th of September for kits for Stephen West Mystery Call that will ship the same week. So I will not have my regular 2 weeks turnover to prepare your orders. I will prepare your orders the same week, because the mystery call starts on the October the 6th. So I want you to get your yarn before it starts, okay? But because I will be on festivals this week and the next, I will be in that very good position to put together some kits. So what I'm going to do is that I might just send you a newsletter in between, before the 26th, to let you know the different color options and to open a few pre-orders, because I will try and do the kit and put together the kits before the colors are gone, okay? So that I have these ideas and able to dye yarn for you before all the colors are gone, because I think a lot of colors are going to be gone, and I don't want to be just left with to be not be able to offer you the whole spectrum of colors and just what's left, okay, after the shows. So I will send you in that fortnight a newsletter with a few options to pre-order some kits that will not necessarily be in stock on the 26th, but that will die very quickly for you to receive them before October the 6th. Because even though the next shop update will be on the 26th, I will have some time to dye yarn after the show. So I will let you know all about the details, how it's going to work in that newsletter, which will be sent before the 26th, and at the latest on the 26th, kits already dyed will go on sale in my shop. And that's it for that part. Now I want to talk to you about the Westknits Almanac. To me, autumn has already started. Okay, once we're in September, to me it's autumn, and I'm this close to being to go full Halloween. Okay, I already have some little pumpkins everywhere, like mushrooms everywhere. And definitely I'm more on a reading pattern of, well, it's actually the case all year long, but definitely more in that period. I'm really enjoying some spooky readings I'm going to share with you a bit later in the podcast. I just want to share with you the Westknits Almanac, which is completely inspired by autumn, okay? So I'm going to share with you here the mood board. If you remember last year, because I always have this strong urge to, you know, put everything in full mode starting September 1st, even at the end of August. And usually I resist a bit, and I've been resisting that last year, because I'm thinking to myself, it's too early, it's too early. Most people don't enjoy, you know, going straight into autumn. For some people it's a dark period of the year. So let's be neutral about this and just find something else. And I decided to do something inspired by sweet treats last year. This year, I decided I will go full autumn. Okay, so this is the inspiration. It's very full of autumn colors, beautiful golden light. And so, because I had this mix up in the studio, I don't have this color already on across all my usual bases, but I still managed to snatch 4. 2 of those are still a bit damp. They will go back to the drying rack after this episode. But this is Mabon. So Mabon is the name of the autumn equinox in pagan, not Christian, beliefs. But yeah, I love that so much. So this is how I wanted to dye for autumn, okay? The beautiful, beautiful warm hues of the leaves, from gold to orange to brown to red, and then a bit of very yellow and green, but that a shade of green that is really towards the yellow. And so this is such a beautiful, I wanted to have something that was strongly evocative of autumn leaves, but the autumn leaves with the sun going through them, not autumn leaves on the ground, okay? Still on the tree. So this is on tweed. This is on Stellina, and I'm resisting the urge to cast on with Stellina because, I mean, this is beautiful, but I've already knitted with Stellina last month, so I really should, you know, rotate my selection and not always pick Stellina. I have a tendency to choose Stellina very often. This is on Lurex and extra thin fingering. And I love how the, you know, different colors play together. It's very bright, I think, like a beautiful and bright autumn day. Okay, and to go along this colorway, I decided to choose a pattern by This Handmade Life, who has a lovely Instagram feed, incredible, you know, a universe of very pretty, a bit, you know, like past century, like Edwardian feel to it, and I really enjoy her whole atmosphere on her feed and in her patterns. I've been wanting to knit one of her patterns for a long time, so I decided to knit Cozy Autumn Socks this month. This is the pattern, and you might notice the book at the back of the picture. I've been obsessed with this book. I've literally turned myself into a stalker just to find out about this book. At the beginning, I thought she was the one writing this beautiful like diary, and after a few hours of research, I finally find someone who asked the question and she answered, and it's the Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. Here it is. Thank you, Amazon. It's a lovely book, absolutely gorgeous book. So if we look at September, page 124, it's not the same. Incredible. We don't have the same. Oh my god, there is another one. That means there is another one. It's not the same. I got to find the other one. Okay. So this is not this book, but I think there is another one. That's why. Just, it's a reedition. It's not a reedition. It's a publication of an original diary by Edith Holden that lived in England in the beginning of the 20th century. There is another one, guys. Okay. I'm back to the content. So this is a very beautiful and simple sock pattern. Nothing out of the ordinary on the techniques. Just a beautiful, you know, sweet pattern. So this is the pattern suggestion for this month. Then, in terms of projects, first of all, I finished my Belladonna cardigan by Andy Sutherland. So I'm going to stand up and show it to you. And you might, I didn't put on the buttons, and you might tell yourself, Christelle, isn't this too small for you? It actually might, but I knew it's a very tight fitting knit. I still need to put on the buttons. I think it's too small, but before I confirm that, I will sew on the buttons, and because I blocked it already, but not aggressively blocked it, just wet it and put it to dry on the drying rack. I think it's okay, but I hope the button bands are not going to bend like this. Just because when you wear it open like this, I feel like I have like the mama version of the newborn vertebrae, like I don't have any flaps. You see? So, we'll see. I know it's a knit with a lot of negative ears. I knew that. I followed the pattern to the letter. I knit a gauge swatch. I took my measurements very carefully, so I should be good, but we'll see. Okay, but I'm still liking it very much. I think it's beautiful. It's kind of spooky. I like it. So I finished this. I finished quite a lot of socks as well. So I have a pair for November. That was my grimoire sock pattern in the Cozy Season colorway. So that's done. And this marks the official completion of the 12 pairs of the Westknits Almanac for 2021. So proud of that. And thank you to Letitia for helping me knit them all. This pair got completed as well. I was the February pair of the Westknits Almanac. The colorway is Druides. It was like a pattern I put together. And then I finished the sock for one of the 2 socks for July. So that was the Drunken Geese socks, and they are absolutely gorgeous, by Celia Roberts. And I also finished one of the 2 August socks. It's the Pearl Cottage sock by Mara Catherine Briner. And so it's a little sock, lovely details, a slip stitch pattern in front, and then a Fliegel heel with a little reinforcement on the back of the ankle, and a faux welted pattern because I didn't want to go full welted welts on that. So it's just you alternate purl stitches and knit stitches, and it rolls on itself like this. But I think it's a bit loose. I think it's going to drop. So, but I really enjoy knitting this colorway. This was August. I just knitted the little samples. It's Beach Sunset on Stellina, and I must say I think this might be my favorite colorway ever. I still have to knit the one for September, okay? But I mean, I love this colorway so much, so much. I think it's my favorite. So for the socks, and then because I finished Belladonna, I was able to knit a bit on my work in progress. So that's the Love Nut sweater in a size that fits me now, because I have 2 other Love Nut sweaters but which are too big now, and so I decided to knit a size that would fit me now, and it's in the Lueur colorway. So I still have 1 repeat of the chart to knit, but this won't be done in the near future because I have some other pattern I need to work on, like the mystery card for the advent calendar. I've started already, that's cool, but I won't be able to share it with you. And another project I have to work on in the shadows. I will be able to share it with you in 2023. I'm very excited about it, very happy. I have to complete this month. So I won't be able to show a lot of things to you this month, I'm afraid, but what I wanted to show you also is my design. It's almost done. So I wasn't able to finish it before the vacation like I wanted, but it's not a problem because it's already finished. Here it is. So that's the satisfaction shawl. It's not blocked yet, but the thing I wanted to share with you before blocking, well, I wanted to show it to you before blocking first of all, and then I wanted to explain to you what I did for the border. You see, I loved this like picot border so much that I decided to do a knitted on border in the same style, and I didn't want to have any disruption here, so I decided to do a little short row magic and continue and cast off with a knitted on border that was exactly the same as the edge stitches. Okay, I'm quite happy about that. It's lovely. I think it will be, you know, the picot, if you're not into picot, it's going to be optional, but also again a little, you know, short row magic for the tip of the shawl and all the way to the other wing. And that's what is left. It's the short rows at the other end that I need to do. So I'm close to finishing it. I just need to, you know, have my wits about me to finish this part and take detailed notes just to make sure I have everything to write up the pattern. And this baby is going into testing in the course of September, I think, and next time you'll see it all blocked in its full glory, because It's a pattern that needs aggressive blocking just to open up and bloom. So next time, remember this frumpy little guy, like all crunch up like this. And next time there will be a beautiful airy lacy shawl to share with you. So this should be out for you guys to knit sometimes in November. More news about that as soon as I finish writing the pattern and set up the testing. I'm going to have it tested at least in 3 different weights. So spot weight is what I used, 2 skeins. There will be a version in spot weight plus suri for a big fluffy shawl, and there will be a version tested in fingering weight yarn for something smaller and more lacy. And that's it for the project, guys. I think that's it. I keep having, since the French version, I keep having this feeling that I forgot to show you something, but anyway. Another project I've started working on again is, because I got fed up with the Little Red Riding Hood thing, I just didn't feel it anymore. So I decided to take up my, again, my, one of the first cross stitch project I ever started. It must have been like in 2014 or 15. Is the Atom Sampler by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and I mean, it's so lovely. I'm really enjoying stitching on that. And also on spinning, I hesitated. I wanted to start a new project during the vacation, and because I was able to bring my wheel with me, and no, I decided to be reasonable and make progress on the with the fibre that was already on it, and I'm still not finished. I'm really having a hard time in squeezing some spinning time in my days. I feel like it's not a priority, and it's always the thing that is bumped off at the end of the to-do list, and yeah. So I really would like to find a way. I'm still struggling with that, but because my days are really full of lots of things to do, but I really want to make time for those little things that are not linked to my business but still give me a lot of joy. So I'm not, you know, giving up. I'll find a way. And then in terms of books, I just wanted to share with you my latest reads and the ones I got going on. So the one I read during the vacation was the Siberian Incident by Greg. I will put here. Sorry about the noise, guys. It's Sunday morning. I thought everyone would be still asleep, but because school started again, kids are beginning to wake up very early in the morning again. So no quiet time, even early on a Sunday morning. So the Siberian Incident was a great read. Sometime I would have happily slapped the main character for being so stubborn and not seeing what it was all about. I'm not going to spoil you, but I was a bit frustrating because some things seemed so crystal clear to me about what was happening, and because it's a story about like supernatural, you know, things happening, people disappearing, strange beasts roaming around, and it started like in prehistoric times. So it was, you know, my kind of read, but sometimes I felt like the author was trying to spin the story a bit too much, and something seemed really obvious, and it was, if it was had been a real person, it would have clicked, you know. Would not have been like, what is it? But I mean, you saw it written on the wall in the cave. I mean, it was like spelled out literally. So why don't you understand? It was a bit frustrating. And then I've been listening to as an audiobook, The Lighthouse Witches, which I'm actually at the middle. It's proven a bit difficult because, you know, two emotional daughter-mother stories, very dark stories. it's difficult for me to read that, so I'm not reading that at night. I'm keeping that for the studio. I think it's very interesting. It's a bit out of my comfort zone because I usually don't delve into human emotions and things like that. I prefer to keep my monsters, to stay with my monsters and aliens and historical things and supernatural. But this is supernatural, but a lot of human emotions as well. So it's a bit hard for me. I'm trying very much not to get too much involved into it because, as I told you before, I'm quite sensible and I can be crying like for days afterwards. So I'm not, for example, at all listening that at night. What I'm reading at night is this. I'm completely smitten with the Fifth Street adaptation of Netflix. I mean, I love those three. To me, it's classics now. I've watched them last year. I've rewatched them before going on my vacation. I think I will watch them again. I really love the atmosphere of the three movies. And I've started the Two-Fisted Fifth Street series by R.L. Stine. So this is a re-edition of the first book of the series. There is over 100, there is a lot of books. And I want to read them all, okay? So I've just finished The New Girl. I've read some, not so good reviews about it, but I enjoyed it very much. I think it's a perfect mix of like suspense and thriller, but not too gory and not too violent. So I think it's a good mix and I really like it. And it's just a tad up from Goosebumps, which is really, for kids. This is for teens, so right up my alley. Also, just for atmosphere, I'm going to read that again. So that's Dracula by Bram Stoker. And that's it for the books. So just started listening to that as well. So I really enjoy listening to books while I work, or when I'm driving, or before I go to sleep at night. The thing is, when I'm really tired, which is actually every day, I really fall asleep very quickly. Like sometimes I feel like I'm passing out more than falling asleep. And so I don't remember what I've just listened to, and I have to listen again. But otherwise, cool. And well, that's it for this week, guys. Next episode will be on the 26th. Only 2 episodes in September. It's not much. But I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will be happy to see you on the 26th. Take care. Bye. Have a lovely month of September. Bye.